All set? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And approval of the agenda. Anything to, we got a school board meeting tonight.
They have it tonight and then they're having it in 2 weeks also, so. Yeah, so I got nothing.
All right, motion to approve the agenda as written. Made and seconded. All in favor? Okay. Public forum, any public comment on non-agenda items? All right, moving right along. Approve the minutes of August 26th.
Make a motion we approve as submitted.
Motion's been made.
Second.
And second. Get that? Tom? All in favor? You got it. No committee and board reports? So we'll go right to the manager's report.
Yes, I provided in your packets, a copy of the, street and sidewalk excavation ordinance. Both Terry and I have been looking at the ordinance and, what I've done, I don't expect any, action on this until we get back into the budget process and the annual town meeting. I think is something that we can do as part of an ordinance revision during the town meeting portion. But I wanted to get it out to you to indicate, the red markers on here. It just indicates some language changes that we made in reference to Public Works Director and myself as the manager. The other most important part of it was the bond for the cross cuts. Right now we have a $1,000 and we're proposing to going to $5,000 for a cross cut opening. And then we were at $10 per foot or $1,000, whichever is greater. And we're recommending $100 per foot up to 5,000, whichever is greater for parallel openings. Him and I talked about it. I mean, just to get a cross cut filled back in would be about $2,500 to $3,000, depending on what has to be done. So and then reviewing our neighboring municipalities and what they're charging. These costs that we're proposing here are right in the middle. They're not the highest, they're not the lowest. They're somewhere right in the middle of what our neighboring communities are offering us. So just for something to look at. Obviously, we'll bring it back up again and take any comments, any suggestions that you will have as we go through that process.
Any comments?
Yeah, according to Terry, it isn't. Yeah, he felt that it was more appropriate to take it out because what would happen if it's raised, oftentimes it may not settle, and then he'd be taking it off with the plow. And so he was more concerned about that than having a big lump there.
Any other comments at the moment? Okay, then let's move on to the Trio web hosting.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because you have an opportunity, even though we haven't budgeted for it, to go to a web hosting cloud situation with Trio. Trio, our software program, provides us the motor vehicle registrations, our tax collection, our any accounting, fiscal management that we're doing. The only other software program that we have, which is different than this, would be our vision assessing software program, which is run exclusively through the assessor's office, but we do have access to that too as well. But with the Trio web hosting, my concern is right now we have Trio, which we have on a server here at the office. And then procedurally, what happens if we have to update any software that they're sending us? If our server is malfunctioning, then we have to contact our IT people, who then come in and assist us with any server information or server updates that we need to do before we can take any of the updates or software upgrades from Trio, and then we have to load that onto our server. With the web hosting, Trio would have the server in-house at their location, would do all the updates for us, and then would provide us access to that information and provide us backups if we need them in the event that something crashes on their end. All that information would be backed up. What I'm finding is that right now our new IT folks are charging us anywhere between, depending on who's here, $85 to $160 an hour to do any work for us. And the server is getting old, and they've already said to us that we may want to recommend upgrading the server. Well, if we let Trio do it, then we don't have to worry about upgrading that server. We can take that out of our inventory, so to speak. The other advantageous thing for us is that our deputy treasurer, or me as treasurer, if we need to access any information remotely, we can do that at our own home on our smartphones or laptops or whatever we have, in case, say, what would come to mind would say if the fire department had somebody that was supposed to go on to the payroll and didn't get that information in, he could contact Kelly, and Kelly could access that from her laptop at home and put that information in, so that person would be on the payroll. So there's some advantages to it. The reason I bring it up now is that it would be a cost to us that we did not anticipate for the upcoming in the budget that we're in right now. So we'd be looking at with the web hosting, which would be $3,000, and then there'd be a one-time cost of the setup of $1,000. So we'd be looking at $4,000 to do this. In addition, that we're already part of Trio, that we've already paid some $3,000 to. So a little bit more than we anticipated. So really like to do it, but I understand if you folks think that it may be cost prohibitive to us at this point.
What did we have in the budget for that IT? You said at 85 to 160 an hour. How much did we have in the budget to cover that? Or was that already?
Yeah, we're going to be way over on IT cost because our new IT provider, I mean, they're really state of the art. They're very adaptable, and they take care of us immediately. And they're making strong recommendations for upgrades and different computers and things of that nature that we can build within the budget process. But right now, if I have staff that contact the guy that's to us, Bruce McKee, it's $85 an hour, whether he and then we get charged if he has to come here to the site if he can't do it remotely. And then if we go with the president of the community of the company, it's $160 an hour. So, so right now we're, last year, I think we spent close to $30,000 with them doing our IT stuff. So with the removal of this server, we don't have to worry about that with Trio. Trio would be taking care of that. So it would be outside of these folks doing our IT work.
So if we wanted to move ahead with this, what were your thoughts on where the money comes from?
Well, I certainly would take it out of the operating budget within the town administration budget. Again, I would anticipate that budget line will probably go over. We'd look at ways of saving money within the budget in other parts of the budget. And then the ability for us to, or the ability of you to transfer funds at the end of any fiscal year of up to 5% of operating budgets may be something that we would have to consider. And that's why I'm bringing it to you, because I wouldn't want to go ahead and start this without you having an understanding that we may overdraft that budget because of this. And as a result of that, I want you to remember the conversation that we're having tonight.
How about, I was just gonna say that, why can't we use?
We can't use ARPA funds on this. No. We can use ARPA funds for transportation issues. And I'll be making a recommendation to you here soon. And we can use it for fire safety equipment. I know that we have a lot of turnout gear that's going to need to be purchased. So we can use the ARPA funds for that. So, yeah.
Trio was used by tons of people, right? I mean, it's
Trio does a lot of in the municipality. In municipalities in general, they do a lot of communities. There's 462 communities in the state. They probably got 80% of the business. The other one is Munis, and Munis is slightly more expensive than Trio when it comes to this, but they'll be responsible for all the costs and updates to the server. The server will always be warranted and the best on the market according to them. Harris will be responsible for processing all software updates. They'll handle all data backups 8 times daily and easily accessible should the town need a copy of their data restored. Provide disaster recovery process in the event that something happens catastrophically and we need to get that information. There are layers of encryption to protect for ransomware, and the approved personnel will have access to your data anytime, anywhere with a secured internet connection. So
I would imagine that would take a huge load off of our server.
yes, right now we do all the troubleshooting before we call the IT and the server is getting dated. But believe it or not, I think these servers are 5 to 6 years old, and a lot of this stuff that we have in our IT room right now, believe it or not, was purchased when we came to the building. And, we're going up on 4 years now. So, which sometimes is hard for me to imagine that we've been here since October of 2020.
I'll second that motion.
What did you say the number was? $4,000?
Yeah.
Yes, it's $4,000.
Don't we have that in contingency someplace?
We may.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a $10,000 line, don't we? in
Yep,
contingency?
we do. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, all right.
So are you suggesting that we,
Sounds like this.
I was just gonna pull it from the regular budget and then, once we get at the end of the fiscal year, if we need to make adjustments, we certainly can come back and say, hey, look, let's, we can take that from contingency if that's a good idea. We could certainly do that.
somebody just make that a motion?
Jason did.
Jason did with a second?
I did.
Dan seconded that.
Okay,
All in favor? You got it.
thank you.
Anything makes it easier and more secure. All righty, let's get down to setting the municipal tax rate.
People are asking.
Yeah,
We're late.
I certainly provided you a memo related to information that the assessor, as you know, we're a little delayed because of her being out on medical leave. Now that has returned, she got this information to me late last week. Looks like our total valuation base increased by $17,513,910, which the year before it was 33 million, and the year before that was 26 million. So it's maybe factoring down a little bit. I think because of the cottages.
Build out of
Yeah,
the cottages.
so the
yeah.
build out for that is sort of winding down. So we're sort of getting into a
And things are flattening out a little
place
bit. too, so-
there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did 4 analyses for you. The first one was zero fund balance provided. As you know, you have the authority to spend up to 500,000 of fund balance that was provided to you by the voters at the last annual town meeting. If we don't use any, it would be $17.79 a thousand. If we use 300,000 of it, it would be 17.23. 400,000 would be 17.05, and use of 500,000 would be $17 per thousand. I'm recommending that you use the 500,000 and keep our tax rate at $17 per thousand as it is right now. And we, as you know, we also have the voters' approval to go ahead and do a statistical real estate update of values within the community. So I'm anticipating that will be done and will be on the books for next year. So we would probably see a reduction in our tax rate just simply because of the new values that we're going to pick up as a result of it. So part of the packet I also provided to you just from year 2000 to year 2000, well, it says 24, it'd be 25 now, of the various tax rates that the town has had over those years. And you could see in 2004, right before the reval back then, it was 1540, and then it dropped to 1095 as a result of the value of the reval. So, and you got a significant increase in value as a result of that. So, my recommendation to you would be $17 a thousand, the same as we have this year.
And I make a motion, we go with the manager's recommendation.
okay, motion's been made for the manager's recommendation. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Tom. Any discussion?
What does that leave us with expending 500,000? What's in fund balance?
Well, we had, the audit report is in, I think we had, the audit report says 4.5. So, and we want to keep, roughly, I think it was 20%. And so it'd be 2.5. So we certainly have, we certainly meet the threshold, and we certainly have enough money available to take care of the 500,000 plus the money that was allocated this year in the annual town meeting for fund balance and the special town meeting when we did the compactor. So.
Any other comments? No? All in favor? You got it. Next question, when will the tax bills be out?
Yeah.
Well, they'll be doing the conversion tomorrow. So it will be probably this week. They'll start getting bills out.
All right, I can go online and let person asking all those questions know. All righty, special amusement permit for the Eagles.
Yeah, sort of apropos, seeing
Yeah.
that they had a fire up there this past
Yeah.
Saturday, but they do have a special amusement permit application before you. They meet all the requirements. I would recommend that we sign it on behalf of the Eagles.
This is for the year?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Do we have a motion
So moved.
and a second? All right, all in favor? We'll let them know we're with them.
I'll send it on down.
Yeah.
Down here, they started signing down the bottom.
Started signing in the wrong place, but we just sign right there.
Should put today's date on here, right? 9/9/9.
Yes.
Does it state on that? Oh, issue date, expiration. So they're current. I mean, not that it matters, but they're current has them out.
An application for a catering function wedding event.
Yes, we have, an application from, Riverwind Farms and Estate. They're holding a wedding event at Maine Classic Car Museum on 2564 Portland Road. They have been there before.
Yeah.
They've provided, functions there, in the past. Filled out the paperwork. Paperwork looks fine. I would recommend signing this on behalf of them.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, so
Yep, okay.
Yep,
Move
I'll second.
Dan second. All in favor? All righty.
Go.
We could give you a little bit more space here, couldn't they? Just made it. Yeah,
Used to writing it small.
I know. All set? Application for renewal automatic graveyard and/or junkyard permit for.
Yes, it's for Radrick Trust on 2 Irving Road. Obviously a renewal, been reviewed by the code officer. We make a recommendation that be approved by the board.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Just like that.
That yard was established in 1981.
Yep.
I said that, you guys established that and your dad established that in 1981.
Good night, guys.
Thank you, guys. There are two payable warrants there. One is for the electrical work up at the transfer station.
I make a motion, we approve payables. We never.
Yeah, yep. Second, okay, motion's made and seconded, all in favor? Good, we got those done.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other business?
Quick question,
See? Yeah.
Chief, how are we with, are we all set with AEDs? Do we have those throughout the town? Like, do we have any in here? Is the fire department also? Yeah, so we're pretty much all set. We have them, any of like a town garage or?
They got one there, the rec department has one, we have one here.
And they've been trained, they know how to use them.
Just checking, I heard somebody was using ARPA funds to purchase a bunch of them. So if we didn't have any, if we were
Be a
short.
good way to maybe
Good.
grab one.
Right,
To answer your question on operation, they're pretty self-explanatory. You open them up and they have all the information right there for you.
walks you through
To
it.
operate it. So, but I'll double check. I believe that the rec and Public Works have an AED, but I'll find out.
Motion to adjourn at
7:29.
29. Phil seconded that? All in favor?